Hello, guys, and welcome to Tech Talk with Ethan. And today I'm here with Greg, who is a lighting designer and video technician. Hello,
Hello.
Greg. Thank you for joining us.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what your background is?
Sure. My name is Greg Iannarelli. I went to university at Shenandoah Conservatory in Virginia. I got a BFA in Scenic and Lighting Design and graduated in 2015, so 5 years ago. About a few months after I graduated, I moved out to Las Vegas and I worked at a warehouse, a production company called Morpheus Lights. I was a moving light technician there for about a year. And then I got a job at Wynn Las Vegas. I worked for a show there called Le Rêve de Dream. I did 2 years there. The first year as an on-call technician, which basically means I would work a set period of hours every week or more if they needed me. And I had a lot of free time on my hand,
Yeah.
which is probably the best type of job, honestly, because I could do part-time work in and around Las Vegas. I could travel more and visit my family. I could still have a lot of personal time to myself, which is what
Definitely.
I liked. And then a position opened up for full-time. So I'm like, okay, I'll take the full-time, take the benefits for an extra year. And most recently, I got a job with Cirque du Soleil on tour. So I've been on tour with Totem for the last year and a half. And of course, with COVID, it got stopped, and with the company itself too, got stopped.
Oh yeah.
Been back in the States since March, kind of just hanging out,
Nice.
relaxing,
Yeah.
training, doing as many trainings as I can, looking at what I want to do when things start back up. But
Nice. That
been a pretty
sounds
good career path since I graduated.
nice. That sounds great. How'd you know you wanted to get into video or lighting?
I went to a private school in Rhode Island here, and in high school, pardon me, and they had quite a big theater program, more of a big theater with a technical theater class and an acting class and things like that. And I kind of took the technical theater class thinking like, oh, it's just going to be an easy credit, kind of fun thing to do.
Yeah.
But I kind of really enjoyed it. And by the senior year of high school, right before starting to think about college, like I knew I wanted to go to college, but I didn't really know what for. So I looked at like, okay, well, I really enjoy technical theater and I really enjoy lighting. Why not just go for that rather than figuring it out when I get to college? So I decided to go for that. It's been a really
Nice.
great choice. Like,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
a
there's
great
nothing
industry to
else
go
like it
into.
in the world, but
Definitely. Yeah. I think entertainment is just like, I'm like, I think technical theater is just great because, there's so many jobs, and just like kind of all
there's a lot
around.
of different career paths within it too. Like at
Definitely.
first I definitely was just focused on theater when I was getting my degree. Like I didn't really think much else past theater
Yeah.
and musicals and play, but there's cruise ships, there's
Yep.
circus, there's concerts, there's
Yeah.
you can take a handful of different career paths in the same industry. And I think that's really kind of cool. If you don't know, or if you don't like theater, you can try concerts. If you don't like concerts, you can try cruise ships,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is would not be for me.
That sounds fun though. I would like
It
love to
does
be on a
sound
cruise
fun.
ship.
Yeah. I was
That'd be
very
like,
close on getting onto one, but at the last minute, something else came up. And I'm kind of grateful that I did not get
yeah.
stuck on a cruise ship.
Yeah. Long months at sea. Very long months.
Yeah. Yeah. In a
Yeah.
tiny cabin. But
Exactly. With
you
no
do get a lot
windows.
of perks out of it, which is good. But
Yeah.
different
Definitely.
things for different people, for sure.
For sure. Yeah. What is your process for line design when you were just doing line design?
Well, the best thing about the university where I went to was I would start right away. Like I didn't have to wait for MFA people to do their designs because there wasn't an MFA program there. I started right away as a electrician and master electrician, and then my sophomore year I started designing or being let to design different shows. I think the best thing was like I could just sit there at 11 or 12 or 1 in the morning in the theater in emptiness and just have everything in front of me and be able
Yeah.
to try different things. Or that's the best thing about it, is there's no wrong answers into design.
Yeah.
You can take opera, for example. Like you can use whatever color, whatever intensity, whatever direction, and it's not wrong,
Yeah.
which is the
Yeah.
best thing. Like you can fully be creative.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. 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 In opera, is it different? Like how's lighting in opera different than like, is it
Well,
different than like technical theater or like theater in
I
general?
I think so, because to like you can break that third wall of reality. Like if
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a musical or a play, for instance, and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and it's a sunny day in Ohio, like, okay, so I need to use warm, sunny light colors, intensity, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which means the light's coming from this direction.
Yeah.
So you have to, if you want to sell it to the audience, you really have to like sell the scene to the audience. But in
Yeah.
opera, it really doesn't matter because most of the time it's in a different language too that most of the audience doesn't understand.
Yep.
But just like dance too, like there's no time setting, there's no reality really. Like you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And that's
Exactly.
what I really enjoyed about opera.
Do you
Didn't
have?
understand it all, but
Yeah.
enjoyed the
Nice.
creative part of it. Yeah.
Definitely. Do you have a favorite console you've used in lighting?
I grew up on ETC. So I learned
Yeah.
ETC in high school and then in college. And then as soon as I moved to Vegas, like it was very Grand May geared,
Yeah.
because it's a little bit more of a powerful desk in terms of concerts and busking and being able to do things on the fly. It's a little bit
Yeah.
more user friendly. And then on tour with Cirque du Soleil, it's all Grand May too. So
Nice.
I've been on Grand May. The weird thing, okay, my one job in Las Vegas at Le Rev at the Wynn Theater,
Mm-hmm.
they
Yeah.
used PRG's 676 console, which
Uh-huh.
I've never heard about. I didn't know PRG had
Yeah.
a lighting console, but it turns out it's geared more towards film
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
or like TV shows,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just what the programmer liked using.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see like different consoles that you didn't hear about or you think it's just for one industry
Yeah.
be
Definitely.
used in different positions like that, just
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
the programmer, yeah. But that was kind
Yeah.
of cool. So
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
to learn that one.
Sweet. Yeah. How's that work with film? I mean, it's be the same, right? It's just like
It's all
used
the
for
same. Yeah,
film,
it's just a
right?
little bit more powerful and it's more towards like giant concerts, like a lot of processing and
Yeah, for sure.
different things you can use with it. Yeah.
Nice.
Or in a theater, it's kind of like smaller and you can just
Yeah.
focus on, yeah.
Exactly. Definitely. So I've we are in quarantine in COVID. The era of COVID, I like to say. What have you been doing to keep your skills up in your field?
I've been doing a lot of console training.
Yeah.
I'm a very visual learner, hands-on learner. So any type
Mm-hmm.
of learning through my screen is quite difficult for me. But I've
Yeah.
taken this time to really focus on terminology, like fully understanding what I'm actually doing sometimes, rather
Mm-hmm.
than just, okay, I know how to do this, but do I really understand how to do this? And that's
Mm-hmm.
what I'm really trying to focus on, is understanding things.
Yeah.
I've also been focusing on a lot of training geared towards health. There's film industry is starting back up, and there's a new role that's very popular, a COVID compliance trainer kind of role.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Cool.
kind of a whole new created position where someone's basically there on set, working for hand sanitizing and checking people in and checking temperatures and making sure all the equipment is there and people can still do their job safely.
Mm-hmm.
So I am COVID compliance trainer certified now, I guess you would say,
Oh, nice.
which is good.
Congrats.
But
Congrats on
yeah,
that.
yeah. But it's quite a good training too, because you can understand more about the virus as well and more about
Mm-hmm.
personal health and safety on set,
Nice.
or in the theater or wherever you're going.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it
How's is that like, is that a what, like where do you get that? Where do you go to that? Or what is that? Sorry.
I'll have to send you a link because I don't remember the name of the company, but
No
it's
problem.
quite nice
Yeah.
because I found it on LinkedIn. A bunch of people I'm connected with on there started popping up on their profile like, oh, I just
Nice.
did this COVID compliance training. I just did this. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I'm gonna look that up and see what it is and if it's gonna help
Yeah,
me. And
definitely. Yeah, I've never heard that. That's cool. They're doing
yeah, I
that.
never heard about it either. It's quite
Yeah.
nice. And I assume if it's happening in the film industry, it can translate directly into the theater
Oh,
industry
definitely.
or
Yeah,
wherever
for
you're
sure.
going.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. What course of study would you recommend for people who would like to become a lighting designer or go in film?
If you want to, not just lighting, but wherever you want to go into, take classes that are not related to your interest. That makes sense. So
Yeah.
I went to a conservatory school where I had to take classes in absolutely everything. And at that time, I really didn't want to. Like, I like lighting.
Mhm.
Why do I have to take a costume class? That's stupid. But now, like, now that I look back at it, like understanding how
Yeah.
light works on costumes or understanding how light works with makeup or even with scenic design or anything like that is really important. Same thing with sound. Like, if I want to be a sound designer, a sound technician, I need
Yeah.
to understand how everybody else works or how everybody else thinks. I
Exactly.
think
Yeah.
it's quite important. Plus, it gives you more diversity in skills if you were to change paths down the line, or if you had someone got sick and you needed to fill in.
Exactly.
It
Yeah.
always looks good on the resume.
Definitely. Yeah. I know some people who have, I mean, skills of, like costuming and, like, all, jack of all trades, which
Yeah,
is, good when you're going into this industry or just in general.
it's
If
really
you're not in this
important to keep
industry.
them up too, though. Like,
Oh
I've been
yeah,
quite bad
definitely.
on some of them. Like, I haven't sewn or done anything with costumes for I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
It's still on my
Yeah.
resume there, so I need to
Oh
be able to
yeah,
prove it, right? So
exactly.
I
Definitely.
think
For
that's a
sure.
good thing to do too during all this time off, is like to focus or to relearn things that are on your resume that say you
Yes.
can do. But
But you
check,
gotta prove them.
yeah, just prove it to yourself, not to anybody else, to yourself.
Exactly.
Just
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Um, let's see. What would you say is the hardest part of this career in general? Like of yeah.
Mm, I am very determined to not necessarily get what I want, but like get where I want.
Yeah.
So if I get a job offer, or I look at a job that someone sends me, and I'm not fully interested in it or invested in it, I'm going to turn that job down.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of other people say it's a job, it's money. Um, I look at it as I'm not going to enjoy that job. I'm not going to enjoy my time there. It might not even benefit me. Like, why should I do it? So
Yeah.
I think learning to say no in the right place is quite hard to learn,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people say in this industry, always say yes.
Yeah.
But I think it's quite okay to say no, especially if it's for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I think especially if it's something you don't want to go into, you're not interested in,
Yeah.
that in that case it works
And you
great.
might not know it at the time too. You might end up
Yeah.
loving it, but you can always try something. But in terms of like a job, you can't really just say yes and then quit a few months later. Because if you do
Exactly.
that continuously, they're going to look back like, oh, you have a terrible track
Yep.
record. Why should I
Yep.
hire you?
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. That seems it. Obviously, no one wants that. So, like, it's not beneficial. but but yes. What would you say is the most rewarding part of your job?
The audience, for sure. No matter where you are, like, of course, if you're working for a show, the audience reaction is the best. But even working in a warehouse for a year, uh,
Yeah.
I would do a few deliveries, or I'd go set up a show, and just seeing people appreciate what you do is
Yeah.
really rewarding.
Nice. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. Do you have were you in anything when COVID hit? Like any show or
I was in Germany working on Totem Cirque du Soleil.
mm-hmm.
We were there for about a month. We were supposed to
Nice.
be there for a month and a few extra weeks. So we were getting pretty close to actually going to Italy. Italy was
Uh-huh.
our next country. And at the
Nice.
time,
That's
Italy
crazy.
was the
Yeah.
mega center
I know,
for
right?
everything. So all of us were like, I'm not going to Italy. I don't want
Yep.
to go to Italy. They
Yep.
can't make us go to Italy. And I'd say about a week or two before we were about to go, they slashed Italy
Yeah.
off. And
Yeah.
then a few weeks after that, or a few days actually after that, they stopped the rest of the German tour and
Mm-hmm.
sent us home.
Yeah. Is that company still when this is all over, will that company continue? Do you know?
I think it's quite a big name and a big company for
Yeah,
it to
yeah.
completely vanish.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
I don't think it'll go away. I think when it comes back, it'll be mm, not as large scale as it was
Mm-hmm.
before.
Yeah.
The hardest thing right now is knowing if I should hold on to it or if I should let it go and wait for it to come back, you know?
Yeah.
Like, especially when there's other things happening, or I can take time to focus on myself and learn new things. And because it's quite hard to let go of that type of job and that type of lifestyle. Sure. But when you don't know it's coming back, like you have to do something and get ready.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Do you think in this, like, you know, when this time of, you know, uncertainty, do you think this industry will come back rising from the ashes?
Yeah, I've heard there's a lot of my friends who are saying, oh, the industry is dying, entertainment is dying. It's not dying. Companies are dying, shows are dying, but entertainment can't die. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like this, we're gonna come out of this. In the end, yeah, companies can die, shows can die, but the industry and entertainment can't die. Like,
yeah,
it won't. And when it does come back, it's gonna come back really, really strong.
Like, so just like boom, you know,
being prepared and having your training and everything ready to go, like that's the best thing you can do right now.
Yeah. Do you have good trainings in like that you've done that you would recommend to people?
I've taken advantage. I don't know if they're still running now, but a lot of programming from Grand MA or ETC is offered free courses at a time, or discounted courses. It's always good to have a little, if you take a course, make sure you get a certification at the end of it so you can prove it. It's really good. The health training courses, CPR, first aid and CPR is really important too, no matter what job you're doing. It's always good to have. Definitely. A lot of jobs too that you're going to apply or that you want they'll have to do that eventually too.
Yeah.
Like OSHA as well. I know if you work in Las Vegas or you want to work in Las Vegas, you have to have OSHA 10.
Nice.
So just having that ready, both industry and construction. There's 2 different courses for OSHA. One's geared more towards construction work. So on Cirque du Soleil tour, you have to have construction because obviously you'd forklifts, but it's important to do both of them if you have the time. It's just really, really boring.
Yeah. I mean, it's worth it though, you know.
In front of it, it is worth it.
It's worth it to get your certification. What could you explain what OSHA is if people don't know?
It's let's see if I can come up with a good description without looking at it online. It's basically like safety police or health and safety police for entertainment.
Nice.
And things like that. And for construction, it's geared more towards properly knowing how to use equipment or see obstacles that could cause problems or things like that.
Yeah.
There's different rules and regulations that you have to follow when you're using chemicals too, or equipment or stuff like that. But it's basically like safety, health police.
Nice. That's important in this.
It is, you know. Yeah. You don't have to remember all the specific things, but getting a general understanding of what you're doing and to do it safely is important.
Exactly. Yeah. Is it like a certification that you like have a certification? Like, do you like, you know?
It is. Yeah, it is a certification. Okay. I think it's I don't know when they expire, but it's good to do every year, every 2 years to redo
Definitely.
it.
Yeah. Are you in any unions? Are there unions for what you do? Like,
I'm not in any union. Okay. No. That's probably one of the things that I wouldn't regret, but I was always interested in is joining a union, especially a theater union. But yeah, I was always interested in doing it, but I was kind of worried, like, because I've heard stories if people join a union, then you can't do X, Y, or Z. You can't do these other things too. I'm like, I want to do those other things. So I think that's why I didn't end up doing it.
Yeah. I think with unions, you know, you have to work with, you know, certain companies and all that, and it gets confusing and all, you know, and you just want to, you know, do you, and it's like I have these restrictions, which is it. I think you know there are perks and you know downfalls of unions.
It's good for not everyone, but certain people, depending on your situation.
Yeah, definitely. Is there a favorite show you've done or tour you've done?
A favorite show. In college I did the college premiere of American Idiot, 3 Days American Idiot, and that was really cool. Because I was heavily involved. Yeah, well, me and 2 other lighting designers actually. So there was 3 lighting.
That's crazy.
I don't understand why, but there were 3 lighting designers. So we all had to seamlessly work together.
Yeah.
I ended up being the programmer for most of it. And then I ended up taking the master electrician role too. So I was fully invested in the
Yeah,
show,
yeah.
like from top to bottom, from top to bottom. But it was quite an interesting show, especially for a college in Virginia to do.
Yeah.
Because over my time there, we've always done really old shows like My Fair Lady or
Oh,
Ragtime.
yeah.
All these shows that really
Ragtime's such a
are
good show,
geared
though. I love that show.
towards the older generation of people who lived there. So
For
this
sure.
was quite out of the box, interesting kind of show to do. But it was fun.
Nice.
And we rented quite a lot of intelligent lighting gear and LEDs, which at the time the school didn't have.
Oh yeah.
So I was really interested in doing that.
That's fun. Yeah. Yeah, at my school, we recently got some. We've had some moving lights. We recently hooked them up to a board and started using them, which is we're gonna use them next year, hopefully, if we get back to school. Because I'm
really
in online.
I would want to go back.
Yeah,
a little bit scary.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like it's weird, bro. Like school's weird right now. Like you know, I'm not sure. Like but I mean, I took. Last year, I'm in technical theater. And I like it's a good class, but I think online it doesn't work well because
I'm a very hands-on type of person. You can't.
Same me. Like I'm because I do sound.
You can shout technical knowledge at my face, and it'll just poof off.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's whatever. But I mean, it's what you have to do, because it's crazy. But yeah. Do you have any? Do you have any like equipment, like favorite equipment? You like not I mean like. Equipment in general, like mixer, lighting gear or video equipment?
I was always really fascinated by Claypacky's BIs. So they're really cool moving head LED, which they have a bunch of different cells in it. And you can do so much with the light. Like it's very versatile.
Nice.
But it looks so cool. It's like the perfect eye candy. So if you're at a concert and you see things like flashing around and moving around and things like that, that's like probably not necessarily a BI, but I love how many different things you can do with one instrument, one fixture.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
So that's probably my favorite one. Yeah.
Nice. Is there a favorite like let's see never sorry do you like any projects that you working on when you go back into this like
I was really into digital drafting right out of university. Like I still had my Vectorworks license and my CAD license and everything like that. So I kind of fell away from that. So I'm really trying to get back into it, especially now. If you want to work remotely too, like you can work remotely. So I think digital drafting, like is a great option, especially now for the next year or so to try to focus on. If you want to stay in the industry, it's also really important if you're a lighting person or you're a scenic person, just to understand too, because if you get handed a piece of paper or a plot anyways, you need to know how to read it. Or add to it online too.
Exactly. And if it's going digital too, so it's like the perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it changes every year too. Like you get a new software update, so you need to refresh yourself anyways.
Exactly, yeah. We have a question from do you use CDA or Vectorworks more?
I've been more towards Vectorworks.
Nice.
Just because I'm geared more towards lighting and video, and Vectorworks is quite nice for that.
Could you
the rendering part of it? Well, you can create your own lighting plots on Vectorworks.
Nice.
So if I'm a scenic designer, or if I'm a lighting designer and I'm working with a scenic designer, he would send me his scenic design probably through Vectorworks nowadays, and I would get his file of his scenic design, and I can add my lighting plot to it. So just like it is in the theater, I can add it onto there. I can move lights around. I can actually render. Like it's basically I can take a screenshot of the theater or of a certain scene with all of the scenic design behind me, and I can kind of use the lights on there to create a scene, and I would basically show that to the artistic director. But this is what I'm thinking for this scene. I'm thinking blue light coming this way or orange light coming this way. And then the scenic designer can also see how the different colors work on his set, which is quite nice.
Sweet.
So there's a lot of versatility and use for Vectorworks. especially if you're a student, you get a free license, by the way,
Oh, really?
which is
Nice.
awesome. So
That's
definitely
cool.
take advantage of that.
Yeah.
I took a class in university very early on in Vectorworks,
Mm-hmm.
and then I kind of just self-taught myself from there, since there's a new version every year, basically.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
But it's a good platform.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've not heard that since I don't do lighting, but it seems like a
Yeah,
good platform.
you can use it for sound too, I'm
Oh,
pretty
really?
sure. Yeah, you can like place your speakers or your sound design and everything in there
Oh,
as
nice.
well.
Sweet. Make a sound plot of your
Yeah,
speakers.
basically. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Did you
I'm sure
have?
there's more to do it with sound, but
Yeah,
that's all I can think of right now.
exactly. Could you explain what a master electrician does for people who don't know?
Yes. So a master electrician's job is basically to make sure to take the lighting designer's plot and make sure all the lights work. So it's really a hands-on, dirty kind of a job. So you're running cable, you're cutting color. If you're using conventional lights, you're getting everything in a place to be able to work, so the designer and programmer can actually turn things on, make them work.
Perfect. Great.
So you're more of the physical labor than the creative labor.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. Do you have a favorite venue you've worked in, like theater venue?
Definitely the Royal Albert Hall. I was
Nice.
there with Totem beginning of 2019. And it was really cool because I learned about it in theater history, and I'd see it on TV, and it was such an iconic space. Really,
nice.
Really cool theater.
Cool. Yeah, I've not heard of. Well, I have heard of that one before. I don't know.
I always forget what they are until I see a picture of them.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh yeah, I know that place. Yeah.
Exactly. I've been there. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's fun. Yes. So as we wrap it up here, guys, just a final question. Do you have any projects you'd like to promote or social media we can follow you on or learn more about?
Yeah, you can follow me on my Instagram and my social media. Really don't know what's going to be happening in the next few months or anything like that, but it's always exciting to try to think outside of the box right now. Like,
definitely.
I'm trying to learn more skills that are not related to my industry right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like learning a new language. Hospitality skills are really important too.
Mm-hmm.
They could directly affect your job in theater or concerts or whatever you're working in. Since I worked at Le Rêve in Las Vegas, I was technically working for the hotel. Okay, so I had to go through hospitality training, even if you're not interacting with guests or theaters goers or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good to know how to approach people. So
definitely. But
public speaking class too.
Yeah.
Take a public speaking class if you're in college still. Yes. Public speaking is and probably always will be something that I'm constantly scared about.
Yeah, it's so important. Like I mean,
doesn't matter what I'm talking
industry,
about.
But yes, it's important. For
even
sure.
If you're not talking at your job or you're not, you're behind the scenes. You need to know how to talk to each other. Yeah, for
sure. Oh yes. Okay, but thank you, Greg, so much for joining us today. And thank you guys for joining, and thank you. See you guys next week on Thursday at 4:30. Thanks, guys.